Okay, before you tap into these dome lights, what you're going to do, first disconnect your negative side of your battery. You don't want to blow a fuse or anything, trip anything or like that. So go underneath your driver's seat, and you've got these BCMs here, these modules. And if you can see, this first one is a white color, and you're going to look at it, and it's pin 23 in the first one, and it's kind of hard to show you because the lighting's bad, but I'm looking at it. I've already got a T-tap put in here, but it's this third wire on the very bottom row, and it should be the gray wire. Again, it's pin 23 and BCM1. See if you can see it better. It's this. There you go. Right next to that green wire. On the very bottom, when it's plugged in, you've got a gray wire, a green wire, and then another gray wire. And that third gray wire, you'll want to tap into it. And I'm just using a T-tap because I think that's the easiest. And so you plug that in, make sure it's securely on there, make a connection with that wire. So the next thing you're going to want to do is get into the firewall from underneath the engine bay. And so the best place to do it is right behind your battery box. You've got an access point going into your firewall from a bunch of wires. And right there you can see that little nipple coming off of that. So what you want to do is just snip that open a little bit, just where you can feed the wire through. I'm going to try to use a coat hanger to feed it through a little bit easier, and it should come out right outside the other end pretty easily. And so I'll show you that once I run it through. All right, y'all, I'm going to try my hardest to show you exactly where this is coming out at. But it's a little dark in here, obviously. And so I've got it through. All I did was I got a small piece of the clothes hanger, taped the end off with the wire, and pushed it through until I saw it coming through. Now, this little module right here, you don't have to take it off. Super easy to, but it makes your life easier getting to where this wire comes out. So I'll show you. When you get to the passenger side, you just come down right here by the side of the truck. And this module sits right there. And there's this clip right here. You just push it down. But the wire comes out right up there above those bundle of wires right there. And so all you do is reach up, grab it, pull it off. Okay, just to show you what it looks like if this module's up here. That's when you look underneath your dash on your passenger side. That's what you're going to see. And that's where, up there where that wire is going to be coming through, where you can see that brown wire. And so if you've seen my other video of how to do the footwell lights, I'm just going to do the same way. To get over to that BCM, I'm going to get something long, attach it to this wire, and feed it through right there where my other wires are, and it'll go all the way behind the dash straight up to where I need it. The trusty old antenna has proven itself worthy again. That's how I got this through. I just taped it to the end of my old antenna that I had on here, fished it through, and here it is. The next step I'm going to do is just the end of this T-tap on there, put it on, and then plug it into that module, and then I'll move on to the next step. Okay, so real quick, I did have this all hooked up to a relay, because that was my plan. Better safe than sorry, right? But whenever the lights would fade on and off, the relay would make just an awful buzzing noise. And so I was like, well, I guess I'm only technically drawing about 2 to 3 amps from these lights, so let's just go ahead and take it off. So I took it off, and it works just fine without it. And so kept the fuse on. If you're looking at this, you're probably like, that is an ugly mess. Yes, I know. I'm going to clean it up in a little bit. I still ran the fuse. Nothing is really going into the battery box. I just have all the wires kind of tucked in there so that they're not just hanging around right now. But then I've got the negative battery connected here. So all I basically did was run the wire from the BCM up, connected it to the fuse, and then just kind of wrapped those wires around, tucked it into the battery box and put it here, and then ran the negative wire right here to this negative terminal. And so, yeah, so now I'm just going to clean everything up, put everything in conduit underneath, and I'll show y'all everything underneath once it's cleaned up, and I'll show you what it looks like with the lights off. So I'm underneath the passenger side of the truck, and so you can see, once I get under here, where that wire from the top is coming in at. It's right here. And I'm basically running it with this other conduit where all these other wires are coming. But I've got it tucked underneath the liner, and this is going to the driver's side. But the passenger side, I tucked it in right over here, following that conduit. that goes right there and then comes out right here. And so when it comes down, I'm basically running it and it'll come out right here, and I'll get everything nice and tight and neat. But you want to run it through right here, and then this is the first step. Run it through, and there's actually a hole that I've got it going in. This wire that you see going across, that's going to the other step on the back passenger side. But that hole right there, it drops it down into the step right there, and that's where the lights are going to be, right there. But then you follow it all the way in underneath the steps, and then there's another hole that you run the wires through for that second step. And for the driver's side, I'm just going to run it straight across, put some conduit. I ran it up over that skid plate so it'll keep it nice and tight. And I'll probably zip tie it to these conduits right here, again, to keep it from getting nicked and everything like that. And then obviously run it the same way for the passenger side. I'm going to do the same thing for the driver's side. Go through the holes in the back side of it and then drop it down. All right, I just wanted to show you exactly where I put these lights. So when you get right underneath them, you could have either put them facing down like I did on this strip, back strip, or you could have put it right here, and that would have made it point away from the truck. I decided to point it down just so it would reflect off the ground. Just would look like there's more light there. But there's the finished product, if you can see it. There's the conduit I ran underneath the truck, ran across above that skid plate, and then to the other side. There's that, and then I've kind of just tucked everything else up underneath. So we'll do a little demonstration now. Let me just turn off my garage light. And it should, with the unlock, I'm pretty sure when you press the unlock on your key or on your handle, I think the dome lights come on. So we'll do that first. I'll hit the unlock button first, see. Yeah, so there it goes. So there's the passenger side, nice and bright. Come over here to the driver's side. And so yeah, it lights it up really, really well. And then so we get in the truck. It fades on, like I said, fades on and off with the dome lights. And there it is. I'll show you just how bright it is now that the headlights and stuff are off. But there we go. And then yeah, so when you lock it, they'll fade off with the domes. There they go. And then when you go to open the door, they come back on when you open it. And then with the passenger side, if you open it from the passenger side and immediately close it, the dome lights seem to go off fairly quick. Yeah, there it goes. But again, it comes back on as soon as you open the door. If, let's say, if the truck is on, you're driving down the road and you're eating or you're doing something, you got to find something, so you turn on the dome lights while you're driving. You just got to be aware that if your dome lights are on while you're driving, these step lights are going to be on, and technically that's illegal. And if a cop sees you doing that, then he might not like that. And so again, that's the lights. I think this is one of my favorite installs I've done since it's connected to that BCM. Anytime you open a door, those dome lights are going to come on. These steps are going to come on. So late at night, if you're out in the back of the woods, whatever, down by the lake, and you don't have any lights, that helps you see those steps. I hope this helps somebody out. These lights are technically like the Magnum RT style. I think these are like the Gen 2. They have another style where it's just like little pod lights instead of the strip lights. But these, you can literally put these on any kind of steps. They just go really well with these Magnum steps. I would really recommend these lights. They were super easy to put on. Again, once I scrapped the idea of putting it through a relay, and they're just super bright, and they're literally not going to draw any power at all, so they're not going to drain your battery or anything like that. And again, hooking them up to the BCM just makes sense.